Hello and welcome to Vapes and Bakes. And today we're doing a hardware review. So we're really lucky to be able to do this hardware review.
We are so lucky.
This is a piece of absolutely brand new, forward-thinking technology that I think it's really clever.
Yeah, it's awesome. So we're gonna chuck in a little clip of the unboxing, and then we'll come right back and we'll talk about these. Hello and welcome to another episode of
Vapes and Bakes.
We're bringing you our first ever hardware review. We've got the Enovap, and so we're going to do a little unboxing of that. So, Cam, take it away. Do you want to show us what's in the box?
Alright, so nice packaging. It says on the front, the first smart e-cigarette. And we were approached by Enovap and given these at the
Vape Expo.
Because of their release this November, and we're really excited to share this because we think that this is actually it's a fantastic product in terms of vaping design.
And whilst Cam's doing that, I am trying and failing to get into mine because I'm a spud.
Okay, so that's the cover. So it comes with a cover like you might have for an iPhone. I think they've based kind of like some of the design from the kind of smartphone ranges that are out there at the moment, which is really nice because I think it kind of makes it current and no. Dum bum bum bum.
So that's the black one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this should be the white one.
Okie dokie. So inside already, what we got is we've got one Enovap vape, we've got a charging cable and a drop tip as well in there.
And the box is actually really quite nice as
well,
isn't it?
And the fact that they have a kind of like they've printed the design of the actual vape itself on the box. I think that's really nice, and you're more likely to kind of use it and keep it, which is a really positive thing rather than just going.
It comes with a little instruction booklet as well.
Yep. So yeah.
Micro
and a quick start guide as well.
Nice. You've got micro USB. The little case that Cam was mentioning just a second ago, that should just stick on, if I can figure out how. So that comes off. It's a little adhesive thing. Stick that on there. Now you've got a little case.
And then you have the Enovap. So likewise, I'm going to do the same with mine now. So just want to say thank you very much to Enovap for allowing us to be part of this project, because it is a really incredible thing that they're doing, making smart vapes, essentially.
Absolutely. And you get an app on your phone as well. So we're going to go away, we're going to fill these up, and we're going to come back and tell you our thoughts.
Cool.
And we're back.
Hello.
So, your first thoughts?
Alright, so the first thoughts about this vape is it is sleek. Right? So what you can see here is it comes with essentially what is a phone case, but for a vape, which keeps it together. It keeps it kind of clean, nice, and protects the glass screen here, of course, and then the two screens for your pods in there. And it has a really nice kind of feel in your hand as well. It's a good solid vape. You can tell that it's made of kind of durable materials. What are your first thoughts about the quality of the vape that you get from this?
Yeah, I think it's great. So we've been using it on two different modes. So Cam's been using the Nicotine Control mode.
Yeah, so you can see there.
So you can have in one. You've got two different pods with this, which is awesome. You can put in one pod a whole load of nic salt or a nic shot even, and then your juice in the other one, and so you can control. I'll let you talk about that in a second.
Basically you can control the amount of nicotine that you're using, which I think especially when so many people start vaping in order to stop smoking, in order to reduce the amount of nicotine they're using or completely cut it out, it can be a really tricky thing, especially when you're faced with so many different levels of milligrams of nicotine. And then you're faced with kind of like bigger bottles where you're putting in your own amount of nicotine, and it can all get a bit confusing and a bit clouded and a bit lost, and there's the potential to actually increase the amount of nicotine that you're craving day to day. So what Enovap have done basically is they've created a vape where you can monitor that really specifically.
Yeah.
But we'll chat a bit more about that in a second. What mode are you using it on?
Just a quick aside from the modes, we're using a lemon drizzle cake today, made by Cam. It's gorgeous. And a slight aside, we're going to compare between drizzles at some point. So, Cam's got his lemon drizzle. I took a lemon drizzle to Expo with us a little while ago, and it got loads of raves from all the other reviewers that we met. And some of the businesses that we handed out some cake to, and we got speaking to M from who's the partner of Chris Empire from Empire Vape Co. And we're gonna have a drizzle off at some point, which is gonna be awesome. We're not sure how we're gonna do it yet, but we're gonna meet up at some point. Em's gonna make her world famous lemon drizzle.
Yep.
I'm gonna make my world famous lemon drizzle.
I'm gonna make my Cossington famous lemon drizzle.
And we're gonna see who wins the drizzle off. So Em, if you're watching this, game on.
Yep.
But back to the Enovap.
Oh yeah.
So I've been using it on the Flavour mix. Now with the Flavour mix, you got the two different pods here, and you can put one flavoured juice in here, one flavoured juice in here, and essentially you can decide how much of a mix you want. So you can either have it at a 50-50, you can go 25 on one, 75 on the other. You can do it the other way round, and actually you can completely you essentially become your own e-juice mixologist, because you can change up the different flavours and stuff that you can get. Now we were given these at Expo from Enovap. We were really lucky because these are a great bit of kit. As you saw in the unboxing, all the stuff that it comes with. You've got the airflow on the front here.
Yep.
So wide open right down the bottom.
Just like that.
You can push it up for a bit of airflow, or we kind of both like it right.
Or have it in the middle for a really quite tight draw.
Because these things, they're not a tight draw at all, are they?
Well, not necessarily. There's a lot of air coming in through this. And that, you tailor it to your own kind of like desires. Some people want a really tight draw, and maybe this doesn't necessarily give the tightest draw ever, but the quality of smoke that you get from these, of vapor production that you get from these vapes it's really lovely. What are the coils running at? They're running at...
I think they're a 0.6.
Yeah, let me have a look.
Yeah, they're a 0.6. So it's a sub-ohm, it's essentially a sub-ohm pod device, which is incredible. Now, the other thing that you can do with these is you can control how much vapor production you want. So I've got mine on 100% there because I do like a bit more vapor production. But if you wanted something slightly more subtle, you can go for a 50. You can go all the way down.
Yeah, I had it on 50. I didn't even realise actually.
You can essentially go all the way down to 10% vapor production if you want. But like I said, I tend to go for a bit more vapor production, and to change settings, you essentially go right to the end of the menu. You hold down the menu button, and you get the different modes there, and you've got hit control, which is how much your nicotine concentration is. You've got your flavour mix, and then you go in and you can set.
You can set what the pods physically have nicotine wise, so that it can monitor that for you.
And both my pods have 3 milligrams, so I will just be setting both my pods to 3 milligrams.
Whereas for me, I've got one set to 0
Yeah.
because I've just put just a vape juice without any nicotine in, and then I've just put a straight up nic shot in the other pod, so that I can, and I've put that in at 18 milligrams.
And it also get to the end, and it also shows you the ohms that each pod's coming out at. Now these pods are actually coming out at 0.7, but yeah, and it's really easy. 5 clicks off, and it says goodbye. 5 clicks on, and it says hello. So do you want to just take us through the nicotine control, and a bit more on how intuitive it is, and the app, because it comes with an app as well.
So basically, this is where I think in terms of kind of quitting smoking, it becomes a really, really interesting device. So you can see how easy it is here. At the moment, I've got 3 milligrams of nicotine. So I can then up that, if I want to 18, which is my maximum. or I can go all the way down to nothing at all, which is lovely. And actually, I found, traditionally I'll vape at kind of 3 milligrams, but as soon as I started kind of toking on this, I thought, I could go down to 1.5. So I've done that, which gives you such a specific level of kind of nicotine control. The bit where this gets really interesting, though, is it's a Bluetooth device. So what it connects to is an app on your phone. So let me just open that up. So at the moment, the app on iPhone is called Web Connect, because iPhone have said that they won't support nicotine-based products, essentially. So what you do is it gives you a mobile browser that you can connect to Bluetooth with. So it's really simple. Because they are a French company, it says Mon Enovap at the top, and you can't see that at all.
Point at the camera and then we'll...
There we go. Okay, so it says Mon Enovap, and then we have Find Your Device. So if I turn my Bluetooth on, it'll then start searching. And if I've got my device nearby, there we go. They are connected up. So I'll press synchronize, and then you get a little Bluetooth thing flashing in the corner of your vape to say that you're connected. And they'll update any firmware that you need to update through Bluetooth. And basically, it's got this brilliant thing called a nicotine step down program, where what it'll do is for 28 days, it'll monitor your nicotine intake. And it'll judge, okay, where does this person that's vaping use their nicotine most, at what times in the day? And another thing is it's got a metrics counter so that you can see. So you can see today I've had so many puffs, and if you tap on that, it gives you so I've had 8 puffs today, and then if I go into filter, I can add kind of my average week, the nicotine concentration. So there's loads you can do that. So you can see it gives you a graph there to show how much nicotine I've been using, which is 3 milligrams.
And it's supposed to take 29 days.
29 days.
To record your nicotine usage. And then it should, after that, start automatically changing the nicotine level for you. Now, we haven't been able to test that particular function, just because we were given these on a set date and asked to review them by a set date, and unfortunately the days weren't long enough to allow us to test out that function.
But I think, and that's something that maybe we can bring up in a later video. Once, certainly for me, I'm looking to stop using nicotine by Easter kind of time. So I'm going to use this function, and even though I'm only on 3 milligrams at the moment, if it can kind of support me in just reducing that and limiting it and then going, okay, you don't need any. That's really positive, because it can be, even with the vape as a device, it can be really hard to then go, all right, I need less nicotine, come on, and it just takes a little bit of the pressure off you, which is, it's really positive. It's a vape that is supporting you in quitting smoking, essentially.
And the other really good thing about that as well is, say if you wake up in the morning and you want a quick nicotine hit, you can just turn that nicotine up, and then once you've got going, you can turn it back down. If you're at work and you have a quick 5-minute break and that's not enough to get as much of a hit as you'd like, you can just turn the nicotine up and then back down for afterwards. So when you're at home and you're just vaping, you can have it down really low. And then if you're out drinking with some friends, now when I'm drinking with friends, that's when I struggle the most with smoking, because when I've had a few drinks, I really want a cigarette. And there's something kind of about alcohol and wanting a cigarette.
The two things go hand in hand.
And so when you've got that really strong craving, I find that my 3 mil juices are not anywhere near enough to scratch that urge. But this thing is great because you can just turn that nicotine hit up and you're sorted. With the pods, it's really easy. So you've got the 2 different pods in there. You've got one that indicates where your nicotine should go, and then one for your regular juice. And if you're just doing the flavour, you can just put one in each and it doesn't really matter. You've got these little stoppers on the side here, which are really easy.
Yeah, and they're well designed as well.
Yeah, they just pop out like that, and you can just fill them up. You don't actually need to take them out. And then when you're replacing the pods, they just pull out and push back in. It's really simple. When you slide it back in the device, when I slide it back in the device because I'm a bit ham-fisted. You've got a little lock here, so that's red, which shows it's not locked, and that shouldn't vape. Oh, it does vape.
It does. It just, if it slips out, it stops vaping.
Okay, but you can lock that in to make sure it's not gonna
So that it locks in altogether.
come out at all.
Another thing I just want to talk about quickly is the other feature that this app presents is if you are smoking cigarettes at the same time as vaping, it gives you essentially a means of documenting that. So I haven't smoked a cigarette today, but I just put it in to show you. So you can say, okay, I smoked 1 cigarette today. And then over the course of however many weeks, it gives you these little ticks, which is a nice kind of like positive reward for not smoking.
So it's a really good cigarette tracker.
And it allows you to monitor it, which I think that's not something I've heard of before. And I you know, you could do it with a spreadsheet yourself, but I think having it within the app that's connected to the vape, that's really positive.
Yeah. So out of 10.
I'm blown away by this. You know, like it kind of has all elements. It's got a good vapor production. It supports you in quitting smoking and in stopping smoking nicotine. And it has a really nice feel to it. It's got a lovely look to it that's quite modern and swish, essentially. I'll give this a 10. I'm blown away.
Fair. So I'm probably going to give this a 6 out of 10. Be a bit harsher. Just because there's a few features, just a few things that I don't like about it. Now, with the drawer itself, it's a very airy drawer. It's more of a direct lung kind of drawer, and I kind of wish that I could make it a mouth to lung. Because when I'm using pod devices, I prefer that mouth to lung, because it's just so airy, and I find that there is flavour there, but it doesn't carry those flavours quite as well as some of the other pod systems that I've used. It's also quite a cold drawer, so like we've kind of said in previous videos, Cam quite likes that, but I quite like a warmer drawer, so I can feel that I'm vaping. I get that sort of drawer feel. I
suppose it's the heat of a cigarette, isn't it?
Yeah, and you don't really get that with this. Very much.
I suppose the other thing they could be doing there is you get used to the heat of a cigarette. Maybe by having a slightly cooler drawer, it starts to disassociate from that original thing that you started with, that kind of raw nicotine plant. And you're starting to move to something less nicotine based, less smoky, and actually maybe that does something in the kind of head that starts to separate it, which could be a positive factor at the end of the day.
I do like it. It's not my favourite, but that's why we're reviewing it. Yeah. But hopefully, if this is the sort of thing that you want to buy, you're going to love it, hopefully. It takes a single 18650 battery on the bottom, and you can also charge it up. It comes with a USB. Yeah. But again, with external batteries, don't charge them in the mod, charge them in an external battery, dedicated battery charger. But yeah, I'm a 6. You're a 10.
I'm a 10. I like it. I really dig what they're trying to do, and I think that they're doing it really well as well. And it's the French Revolution. So here we go. Quitting smoking. Come on, guys.
See you later.
Catch you later.